Hey guys, welcome back. We're here again to talk about GGII, but first we have some housekeeping to do. We have some good news. We set everything up so you can follow us anywhere now. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's all at Daily Stockcast. We also set up a Patreon because we did have a comment that said, or asking us about, do we have a Patreon? We did not at the time, so now we set that up. So where we have a Patreon, which is Patreon/Daily Stockcast. And we also have 3 tiers of the Patreon. So we have a $5 tier, which you will get our Discord, and you can post in there, do whatever you want. I'll be in there. We have Dane will be in there. We'll have different things going on. And then we have the $10 tier, which is going to be a little more interesting. We came up with Dane mostly came up with the good idea of that we're basically going to have a Gamblers Anonymous. So the $5 that comes out of the 10, we will keep for the show and or anything that, we need. And then the extra 5, we are going to form together out of everyone's donations and put into a brokerage account. And then we're going to take a vote on Sunday night of where that money will go for a weekly swing trade, so to speak. And it'll, it can be puts, it can be calls. Like, I'm going to give 5 options of where this money will go. Everyone will vote. Whatever the top vote is, we buy it Monday morning at open and let it rip. So, and then Dane, we have a $50 option, right, too?
We also have the $50 Tier 3 option, so that includes all the above. So if you donate $50, $45 of that dollars will be rolled into the Gamblers Anonymous brokerage account, right? So anything above $5 is just going to get rolled into the brokerage account for every, the weekly bets that we're placing here, as a group total. In addition to that, you'll also have a private DM session with Paul. So if you want to ask him any particular stock questions in general, so if you don't capture his attention on the Discord page, you can also just directly message him with the $50 option as well. And then finally, your name will be added to the end roll credits. So within every video here, you'll also be added on a monthly basis. So you'll get some exposure there too.
All right, so let's get into GGII. But first, we have an update. Me and Dippy were talking, Dane, and we decided to promote you to co-host of the show.
Whoa. Oh, we're capturing the live reaction
here.
Live.
We didn't tell him there is no...
I'm the co-host.
This is not staged whatsoever.
I just wanted to be a guest forever. I like the guest role. I like that a lot more.
But now, yes, we decided that because you were so good at this that you should be definitely a co-host. I think
That's perfect.
We had good feedback.
Can I take some time to accept the role?
Yes, maybe we'll print out a contract.
Is there an offer letter here? Yeah, I get the offer letter. I'm pushing back no matter what. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, maybe instead of it'll be free, it'll be free plus a donut or beer or whatever you want.
All right, I'll take it. All
right, perfect. All right. So anyway, we're talking about GGI, the latest update. We left off last Friday, right?
Yeah, last Friday.
So that's a pretty decent amount of time when it comes to penny stocks and how they move generally, and anything can really happen. So why don't you fill us in a little bit from what happened last Friday for now?
Sure. So, if you're going along with this, it was some bad news this week, right? So last Friday, we were hovering around 8 cents. And then, we took some steep decreases here this week, unfortunately. So what happened Monday was, I think it was more of selling the news from the pink status, right? So expectations for going pink, I think from what I've seen and just the social media was, it's skyrocketing. We're going to go to 15 cents, 20 cents, right? And that news was just instantly sold, right? Yeah. So Monday we tanked a little bit. Tuesday, I think we held ground. And then Wednesday, there was another big sell-off happen. So I know that some press release information was issued out early Wednesday. And then the leaders from Hempico also presented at the Emerging Growth Conference. So you can go look up the YouTube video for that there if you're interested in more. But why don't you talk to us more about some of the press release that did come out on Wednesday?
Right. So we had seen weeks ago, remember, that they had increased in the OTC markets. It came out that the authorized share count went from 5 billion to 75 billion. Now, normally that can be cause for concern because so the authorized share count is not the amount of shares that are out there. It just means the amount of shares that could be issued if necessary, right? So we have the outstanding share count is the amount of shares that are out there right now. So when an authorized share count increase happens, usually that means, there's dilution coming because that means for some reason they feel the need to say, our maximum now is going to be this. However, in these scenarios, I think the market way overreacted because there hasn't been any shares issued. They flat out came out and said why they did it too. A lot of times, like a company will just raise the authorized share count and never give you a reason. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, too bad for you. So they flat out said we're doing this for acquisitions. And not that they said this, but I also believe this from the beginning, that it's to prevent a hostile takeover. Because what hostile takeover is if you had enough money, you could go into the open market, scoop up a ton of shares in the open market, even secretly, very slowly building up your share count, and now you have voting rights. So now you can literally kick board of directors out, restart. It happens all the time in big boards. Like, these big hedge funds come in, they'll sweep up a lot of shares and then go from there. But I think with the OTC, generally the traders are not as sophisticated. They just assume that this was a bad thing, instead of thinking, well, maybe this could be done strategically in a good way that'll help the company grow long term. And like I said, they've been saying for weeks now, it's for acquisitions, and the shares will be restricted. So even if they acquire something, for 1 billion shares, they can't sell them, in just right in the open market. That's not how it's going to work. They're going to be restricted for at least 12 months, they said. And even the private equity investing that they're doing is restricted for 18 months.
Right.
So all the dilution, in a sense, is, kicked way down the road. And then at the same time, too, if you do acquire a company, a lot of the times these companies will just hold their shares. Because if they believe in your own company, if I sell a company to you, I believe in my own company, and you issue shares in your publicly held company, I'm just going to hold my shares. 'Cause I'm like, well, I think they're going to be worth more.
Right, exactly.
Why would I just sell them as soon as I get them if I believe in the company?
Yep.
So that was Wednesday, I believe, where we kind of, they came out and they said, this is why we're doing it, blah, blah, blah. But the market did not really like that all too much, unfortunately.
Yeah, responded negatively. Yeah.
Responded negatively until Friday morning, basically. It sold off.
Right. So, yeah, there was some panic selling that happened throughout the week, really. So Monday through Thursday, it was just panic selling, right? So we started around 8, and now we're down to, open Friday, we got down to 2.3 cents or something like that.
Yeah,
and then we found a support level there, right? And then we bounced off.
Yes. Strongly bounced off all the way back up to 3. So I was like, okay, good. I'm watching it kind of in the morning. I'm like, all right, well, at least we're coming up to a good area to at least go sideways and hopefully rebound from here. And then in the afternoon, it was at 2 o'clock, they released a press release about their new IP patent, right?
Yeah, so I mean the close on Friday, so currently where we're at 4.2 cents, right? So I think it was like a 44% increase from open on Friday. So we're back around 4 cents at this point. So I think, some important news came out, and I don't even know if the market had time to react, to be honest.
Yeah, because it was already continuing up from the morning.
So the morning it was already going up. So I don't know if it's fully reached the market level at this point, right, this news, but the press release that happened on Friday was an issue came out for that a patent for terpene spraying technology, a license patent for terpene spraying technology from open book extracts.
Right.
So what does this mean, right? So the way in which they roll their hemp cigarettes, right? Now they spray them with terpenes, right? So that could be limonene, terpene itself, limonene, right? So these are meant to provide like a consistent flavor for the hemp cigarette, and then also contribute to the aromatic profile, right? So I myself, when I open the pack of the real stuff, right? So that's their own brand product line for the hemp cigarettes. They smell great.
Oh yeah,
right?
That's
Like
why I
they smell fantastic,
smell very good.
right? So what is that? That's their terpene spraying technology, right? That they're licensing from open book extracts. So they have exclusive rights on these, right? So and Jorge, right from his mouth says that these are meant to expand the license to increase the levels of CBD, CBG, CBN, and then other cannabinoids, right? So why is this important? And he also mentions that this essentially doubles the concentration of the cannabinoids in the hemp cigarette. So why do people care about that? Right? Yeah. Oh, huge. Right. So why do people care about cannabinoids? Why are they important? Just some of like the effects that you can easily read online are reduced anxiety, inflammation, pain. They also have cancer-fighting mechanics that I don't think are necessarily fully understood at this point, but I think at a surface level, there might be some cancer-fighting mechanics at play here, and then also control of, like, nausea, right? So, I mean, this is desirable. I mean, you can go out to, the supermarket here, you get CBD gummies, right? And these things sell for ridiculous amounts of money, right? So they're able to infuse these and doubling the percentage of whatever would be naturally in the hemp through this terpene spraying technology. So this means that, if Philip Morris or any of the big tobacco in the future want to try to spray their cigarettes with terpene, right, sprays, they have to license it from Hempacco.
Right. At least get a royalty or
they get some royalty or some contract deal from it,
yes,
right? So
correct.
I mean, realistically, this is huge.
Oh yeah, it's a giant one. It's a huge patent because this is the way that the market's going, and it's all going eventually this way. That's just how it's progressing now, with legalization probably coming up and everything else. I mean, hemp's already legal, but with marijuana even being legalized soon, everything's trending towards the inevitable, basically, of these big tobacco companies getting into now hemp and marijuana, because no one's going to want to smoke cigarettes anymore. I mean, you're going to get to a point where you can just buy, why would you, when you can just buy a hemp, that's better for you.
Exactly.
And everything else. Yep. And you can buy it at your convenience store,
I mean, if you look at the numbers, right, so the people that smoke cigarettes, most of them want to quit.
Right.
You talk to anyone, like they just want to quit. They don't have an alternative, right, that works for them. Right. But this provides an outlet for folks that, they're seeking an alternative, right? I mean, they have like the habitual smoking behavior, right? So you still get to smoke something.
Right.
But in this case, it's just, far better for you. Right.
I
think it's just generally known.
No one's like, I love smoking cigarettes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I wish I could smoke more of them. They're expensive. They're not good for you. Everything's bad for it. So with GGI, I mean, the what's coming up, we into this week. So now we're off Monday, obviously. So we have a short week coming up. What I'm looking for personally, and we had talked about it, was I'm hoping that they come out with the 8K or the S1 to finalize the merger. And then that way it'll become like set. I mean, it already is kind of set in stone, but this will make it extra set in stone. So that's what we're looking forward to this week. And then they have an expo coming up, right?
Yeah, the 1st through the 3rd, they have their hemp expo. So I think they had one of these in the past, or multiple of these in the past. So if you are in the San Diego area, you actually can visit their facility. I don't know where it is exactly in San Diego, but you do have to buy a ticket. But included in that ticket, I think, is, a free meal or something like that. But you also get to talk to the owners, right? You can talk to Sandra, you can talk to Jorge. And
San Diego is super nice anyway. And just being in San Diego is beautiful.
Totally, yeah. So, but they're going to have investors there. I think that they're also going to have some of their JV partners there as well. So we might hear some more information. I know that like Hemptown's going to be there.
Yep.
They're going to bring the wrapped Lambo.
Yeah, apparently the wrapped Lambo. It looks pretty sweet. I saw it.
Dude, it's pretty sick.
I think it's an Aventador, which is the most expensive one. Or one
it's
of the
ridiculous,
most expensive ones. Yeah.
But
so that's coming up all this week. Like I said, we got a short week, but it should be, at least have some updates, and we'll hope, we'll push up back into the, 10 area, dime area, 10 to 12. I'm thinking we'll see though. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. So then, I guess we'll wrap it up here, and hopefully we'll have an update during the week this week about GGI. So thank you, Dane. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a good holiday weekend. Like, share, subscribe, do the finger thing.